TSM on attack.
Really incredible how the mood of this matchup changed from the first 3 to 4 rounds of Coastline to the final 3 to 4 rounds of Villa. They are night and day. That ending to Villa was something that would be fitting of a championship matchup, not a matchup that is really just for a couple $100, $1,000, I think you said, and that was it, because no matter what, these two teams are going to play each other in the mini major. So it's really just for, oh, do you want second? Do we want third? Who's gonna take it here? Operator bans though happening on your screen. I'd like Slash to be acknowledged for always being right that TSM was going to ban Ace both times. Congratulations, Slash. You called it well. Capitao and Ace, the two attacker bans. Mira will join. Last defender ban. Any speculation here, Michael?
Either a Wamai, a Jaeger, or a Malusi, or maybe a Valkyrie. I doubt it. It's yeah. See, oh, it's a Vigil. Wow, that came out of left field. It kind of makes sense though. We've seen Vigil be definitely a major presence for both teams actually on the roam. Not what I would have expected, or not what I did expect, as you all heard what I expected. That's going to leave a lot more tools open to the defense, though, on the actual site hold. So, yeah, a little bit of a different ban there, but I can respect it, especially on Clubhouse, where the roam is really hard, and every piece of utility that can assist the roam is super valuable.
Merc is TSM's Vigil main for the most part, so that was a targeted ban towards him. You have to suspect, and the way that he was able to waste time on defense on that role on Villa worked out pretty well. Obviously, Vigil has a larger influence on a map like Clubhouse too, because we are not that far removed from the old mute Mozzie Vigil castle meta that we saw that allowed players to roam upstairs. Now present is mute, but that's about it. The holdover from the olden days. Instead, it's going to likely be, my guess is, some emphasis upstairs with the Vigil, or with the Legion in play rather. No Vigil in play for them, so they've subbed in both the Malusi and Foxay on that Legion to cover that role upstairs. I mean, Vertical's up there right now. The Mute's up there. Maybe they'll leave just Bio or Slash on site. I'm not sure. We'll wait to see exactly how this shakes up for OXG.
A smoke mute. Oh, okay, Slash. He is playing on the smoke right now. The roam is primarily around jungle there. You can see Foxay trying to delay. He'll be just hunting the drones to try and get the attack to think about him. Drop opened up there by Moto, offering a rotation, but he's not likely to use it. He'll probably commit to the main stairs, so it wasn't necessary, but not necessarily a bad thing they opened it either. Vertical will get achieved, so this roam is working out for Oxygen. They already pick up the first frag of the match. This is a great start for the defense. The attack certainly has a chance.
And Achieved getting some repayment there for what he did in his clutch with the T5, and unfortunately for him, he's not going to do too much. Laxing tries to Assassin's Creed drop right onto the head of Bolo, but Bolo is just simply better reflexively, and he shuts down Laxing. So they're back to a 4v4. Now Chala upstairs trying to hunt one down. Vertical's playing just by construction, watching that angle into Master. And if Geo drones in that direction from the doorway leading into Master, then Chala will be able to find him quite well. Whether he wins the fight or not is an entirely different question. There goes the drone into construction. Bolo nearby. Vertical will be chased off of this position over towards red. A hail of bullets will greet him, but none actually find their target. Now, it looked like the door behind him was shot as well, as both he and Biologic head down through blue. Not bad timing. I mean, you wasted 90 seconds or so for OXG. That's a big W. You took out Achieved. You only lost Laxing. But now you lose Vertical. You get spotted from Merc. I don't know exactly what Vert was doing, but advantage goes in favor of TSM.
That advantage now being established. Still a lot of time for the attack to go for the execution. Impacts from below, and that's going to force TSM to scatter somewhat, but it's fleeting. The attack has the control they need by the main staircase now, and they will turn it into more, I'm sure. With the moto drop being opened up by the defense earlier in the round, there is an opportunity to actually execute onto the site through Church. There is also plenty of hard destruction on the attack. Since the impacts were used elsewhere, they won't be used to impact trick this drop down. Foxay doesn't have any. So kitchen drop opened up. Still hard destruction for the wall. Thatcher has an EMP. He can get the mute jammer on the wall, but the time is fleeting. And the EMP is used by Blue. Biologic aware of his opponent, given the EMP being thrown out. The Thermite goes down, as does the Thatcher, and it's a full court press for Oxygen, leaving just Bolo, who gets shut down at the end of the hallway. A solid round there for Oxygen when it came to the actual site defense. You almost would have called it a flawless, but because they lost that player early in the round on the roam, you just can't.
That's by far and away, as a side note, my favorite death animation.
They stumble.
The running man.
Yeah.
Where you kill somebody as they're mid-motion and their body just kind of keeps going, and it's gruesome, but it's kind of funny at the same time.
Certainly is.
Man, OXG on defense on Clubhouse. All right, so let's set the stage. We talk about defender-sided maps. We talk about attacker-sided maps ever so slightly. Villa was a map that will suit the attackers quite well. We saw a bit more of a lopsided attacker-friendly Villa previously. Coastline also happens to be a decently attacker-friendly map because of the way it plays out and the flexibility that attackers have, especially when they're not handcuffed to bringing a hard breacher. They can bring operators like Yana, Dokkaebi, Ying, Jackal, Capitao, Gridlock, Lion, etc. Operators that you don't see a lot of outside of that map because the roles are much more rigid. Now, Clubhouse is a very rigid map. You always need a hard breacher. A lot of teams are going to bring two, especially when they're attacking upstairs, and oftentimes when they're attacking downstairs as well, whether it be a Maverick, whether it be a Hibana, whether it be a Thermite, or even Ace. Obviously, Ace is banned, so he won't be showing up. Maverick is quite common because you also need a set of grenades, because the way that teams play on this map, they're going to be spread out quite substantially. Now, most of the bomb sites are long and winding and are big enough to sit all 5 defenders on without being too stretched from one another. Even on this bomb site upstairs on Cache CCTV, that garage becomes an extension of the B bomb site by the rotate that is created right by vertical. It allows you to pass through that to hold it down, and it also prevents the attackers from taking garage as willingly because they have to be wary of you swinging on them from the rafters above, a fight that the defenders will win an awful lot of the time because of the way that perspective and the vantage point from that top floor works. So when you think about it that way, OXG did what they needed to do. They won on a bomb site that you're expected to win, which is Church down below. Defenders are often expected to win this Cache CCTV upstairs. Things get a little bit shaky when it comes over to Gym and Master, where we'll likely see next if OXG prevails here. And the action has already been decently swift.
As the wall has been opened up, Z-Mark going on into the corner of Garage where Foxay sits by Harry Potter. He'll fall down into Oil Pit, though, and he was protected by the green crate, so he was not exposed to the shots from Lounge. He sees the gig is up, though, and runs away, so that's the right call for Foxay. TSM not managing to get any of the picks that they've been bargaining for. Laxing will also be slippery and fall all the way down to the bottom, not giving an opportunity to the attack to get that kill. Oxygen so far have been great on remaining elusive and staying alive. I'm surprised that impact there from Zofia did not get the shield, because here is right on the shield. There's even some of the floor under the shield destroyed, but no. So Bolo doesn't have any more impacts. He won't be able to get the shield moving forward. That's going to rest on Achieved shoulders. He's the only one who's got utility to destroy it now. Oh.
Merc is ready inside of construction as OXG taking a beating will now get finished off, and that's Slash to catch the grenade tossed in from Achieve. That's a very strong operator with a nitro cell in hand, possibly for that bandit, and he is gone. He can be of no use. There goes a Goyo shield in front of Foxay as he is pinned down at the top of red stairs. Other Goyo shield in front of Bio. He needs to be wary of that, as there could be an explosive tossed his way, doing substantial damage. Foxay falls off as Bolo had picked off vertical, and TSM's lead will continue to grow. If Foxay pops out of this window on blue, unless he's very good at this shot, he'll lose his dance with Bolo. Bolo on the upside down rappel will catch him either way. Merc gets one too, and that leaves just Foxay to die at the top of red stairs. It was nearly a flawless round, round 1 for OXG, but it is a flawless round in round 2 for TSM.
Beautiful stuff there for TSM. This constant back and forth, this ebb and flow we see with these teams is unrelenting, it seems. So, with Cash being successfully, or rather unsuccessfully defended by Oxygen, they're probably going to re-up on the site. TSM will get another crack at it. Basement is something TSM will have to reassess when they get to it, but that's for later times. Most of that round comes down to Oxygen, yes, being slippery on their roam, and yes, staying alive for a good long time, but as soon as Oxygen was corralled back into the site, into where TSM could get their hands on them, well, TSM's grip was certainly very firm. And the gunfights all went the way of TSM. It's really as simple as that. With your open angle, your utility use out of the way, TSM were winning their gunfights. Oxygen certainly left themselves in some very exposed positions. There were some moments of, I think, smart play from Oxygen, but ultimately, they never really took the fight to TSM and were unable to build any kind of momentum in that round, any kind of engagement advantage. Since TSM was allowed to just chip away from a distance, they were able to just, well, take the round off of that. There's not a lot of depth to this site when it comes down to actual contact on the bomb site itself, and you forget about those roamers.
Oh, back up to Cash, as you're not going to want to go to Gym Master and Church opens up next. This is a sensible decision for OXG. You like to comment that when teams go to the same bomb site a second time in a row, it's because they have figured out what went wrong. Now, in that previous round, what went wrong? The answer is everything. It was a flawless round for TSM. So any bit of learning from OXG will bring that round closer, because I don't think there can be more of a blowout than that was. So I think it's a safe call for OXG to do this, not just because Gym Master is not exactly the bomb site that a lot of teams want to go to defend on. They don't rush to do it. But additionally, because OXG flubbed that round so hard that basically anything is going to make it easier for them. Now, the wall has already been opened up inside of CCTV, so this is the same pace that was set from TSM in the previous round. And you've opened it up with the thermite charge. You've still got 3x Kairos left, and Geo has 1 remaining of those exothermic charges that he can apply wherever he wants. You can see the utility present on your screen, and TSM really haven't used all that much just yet.
Huh. You know what I just noticed?
What's that?
The pipe on the roof that's emitting the smoke on this map comes from nowhere.
Huh. Never gonna unsee that. Thanks for that.
Yeah, I mean, you just go up 1 level, Mr. Spectator. There, yeah, just comes from nowhere. There's nothing, just poof, smoke. Anyway, Oxygen still on the roam. TSM have cleared out a good chunk by Jim. They are doing a good job of corralling these roamers again, but not as good as the last round. As you can see, this has been a deceptively, I guess, slow round, as it's down to the last minute and there's still roamers, no corralling going on. The attack just has control over by Master. That's just about it, and it's almost like TSM has taken a much further back approach on this execution.
Yeah, this is not the same level of confidence that we saw displayed from them previously, and I do think some of that is that OXG have changed up the way that they're roaming, and that patience from TSM is hoping to catch them on a mistake. And while the mistakes being made are going to be from TSM, as they lose both their heads up to Foxay and Laxing, and OXG starts this off. That's a dropped grenade from Achieved, taking out Geo. Big missed opportunity, and it's a flawless round for OXG if they can kill Achieved without losing anyone. Achieved will try to stop that, but won't do it. Flawless. 4-1, and then back in the other direction. It doesn't say flawless on the screen, but I didn't see a single member of TSM die.
Maybe it's because of the team kill? I don't know. Because I didn't see anyone from TSM die.
Yeah, that's very...
Sorry, Oxygen. I didn't see anyone from Oxygen die either.
Yeah.
But my guess is the team kill upsets the flawlessness of it somehow. I don't know. Maybe we missed something?
I mean, it was a 5v1 right at the end. Unless Achieved killed the Maestro right as he died. But I don't think that's the case. So, weird.
Yeah. My best guess is that because Achieved got the nade kill onto his teammate, that maybe that changed something in how the game asserts flawlessness, but either way, we can call that a flawless round, I think, Parker, and, you know, move on. So a flawless answered with a flawless. Beautiful job from both teams. Oxygen. I don't know if it's really down to how they played that made the major difference there. I think I would honestly point a finger at TSM's play. I mean, we strangely didn't see TSM do much work in regards to the roamers that round. They did try to haphazardly rotate some players to clear out roamers late, but at that point, the roamers knew how much ground they had to play with and were quite comfortable, won their gunfights, and then, okay, well, your roam clear is gone. Now you have to execute onto the site, and the roamers are collapsing on you from behind, and oh gosh, and everything just goes wrong for TSM. So, yeah, it's interesting how we're seeing this constant sway back and forth with these squads.
These teams are just so evenly matched, and I mean, this is an exciting preview for the major. Yes, because they are going to meet again no matter what happens here. So we will get a redo of this matchup in a pretty short period of time. Now, obviously, I would imagine the maps are going to be different. I don't suspect we're going to see the same brawl on the same maps. But losing Villa is something that is probably going to rock TSM. I wouldn't be particularly comfortable with that one. I mean, who knows? Maybe there still is a prevailing opinion that they are not the most invested in this matchup, just as apparently Bio is invested in having 75 HP as he just trades it away. And I don't even know if he was able to hold Bathroom with that impact grenade. He could have totally botched that. It does look like the panel is... No, it's gone. So wasn't able to do enough work, unfortunately, for Bio. That's a tough one. Fox A is left to guard the Bathroom as we hit the halfway point of round number 4. And it's the first Gym Master defense, which is a bit strange because Church is available for Oxygen, but they're not going to go there. And TSM will sink their teeth into this defense, taking out Laxing as Merc is challenged over by Jacuzzi Wall.
Gas canisters coming out very early here for Fox in an effort to try and delay this assault. I mean, he'll be successful to that end, but at what cost? Now that there is no delay left on the attack, it's all going to come down to the gun work and the evil eyes for Oxygen. TSM with the man count advantage do definitely have a favor here. However, this is actually a fairly defendable site even with a man count disadvantage. Ooh, that's a close call there for both players. Foxay definitely the one coming out worse for wear as he incurs quite a lot of damage, but at least he gave back a little bit onto Geo. As we come down to the last 30 seconds, the attack really has to consider their presence in the site. What a vault there from Merc, and not heard by Biologic, and he'll win the fight. That's great positioning, but answered back swiftly by Foxay. Achieved, though, on top of him, and he'll get the control from the workshop door. Geo going for the plant now. Slash and Vertical need to retake from from the office and workshop. They're not going to have an easy go of it. In a post-plant now, especially, it becomes hard, as now it's a 2v4 with all the guns on TSM up and looking. There goes Slash. Here comes Vertical, but at least he gets one on his entry, not the second. Achieved up close, and he'll get that final frag. TSM managed to claw out that round.
Well, settle in, everybody, because this one is going to be going the full distance, I suspect. This is now 4 rounds with the teams trading back and forth, and, well, there's been a very clear winner in every single round. Really hasn't been up for much debate. This has been dominating performances as both of these teams have swapped back and forth. TSM never having led, but they're going to look to try to break that now. For OXG, they're going to go back to an all too familiar bomb site, except the only difference is they're not going to be running a mute unless Laxing 6 picks to a mute.
Ha!
I'm humbled. I am humbled by Laxing choosing to do that. Anyway, it's the same lineup from OXG that worked out before, and they were able to roam heavily on that second floor, waste lots of time, and they won their early gunfights. They won their early gunfights, and they bled TSM on numbers, and then when TSM decided, hey, let's maybe leave the roamers and try to pressure the bomb site, they got beaten back from that position as well. So, all said, it was a pretty definitive round from OXG. in round number 1. If they can replicate that, that'll be good for them. I mean, that's where we see this pendulum swinging back and forth, the ever-referenced metaphorical pendulum. But it doesn't look like OXG is actually going to roam all that much upstairs. It looks like it's going to be mostly on the first floor. The second floor is laxing up there right now alone. This could get really interesting. Slash on the main stairs, Foxay over by Strip. He picks a fight with Chala. Look at how little HP Chala has remaining. Foxay, that's a gamble that pays off, and that'll shake up Chala now, especially with nitro cells on the board, especially with impacts on the board, and 3 gas canisters. Chala is not going to be the front line when it comes time for the execute, and that is troubling for TSM.
He's going to at least be able to use his EMP still, and he'll allow the jacuzzi wall to be opened thanks to EMPing what is likely a mute jammer on that wall. So, yeah, I mean, it's troubling, but I'm sure Chala will figure out how to throw his EMPs from a safer position. Right now, the roamers still persist and still delay. Vertical going to be holding upstairs on a pixel angle towards the master door. This is a dangerous challenge, but he could get the advantage over Achieved thanks to the angle. Achieved with a good read there, but slightly off. Can't really blame him. Now the drone comes up to assist Achieved in actually taking this fight. Here come the tracers from Malusi, trying to fight through the hole that was made, but he'll just cross. Achieved not able to catch him in that cross, and this should be an easy retreat for Vertical if he decides to go back to the site, but he's deciding to stick instead. It's dangerous, but it could actually get him some significant utility advantages. He's able to find now 3 drones on this hold upstairs. That'll hurt the attack when they try to execute onto the site. They won't be able to crucially find out where the anchors are playing in the site itself. Vertical just continues to challenge, and I'm honestly impressed by the fact that he hasn't died yet. He finally will to Merc, who cuts him off from the front door. Jeez, what a lot of time wasted.
I would say successful, though, for OXG. The problem now that TSM is going to have to confront, despite having an advantage, is they're going to have to get into the bomb site. And like I said, Chala is so low that, well, if he gets too close to anything, except maybe even a stray bullet, he is gone, and we are back to a 4v4. Now, he's been able to use his gadgetry, and he can still watch from farther away, but he has to play much safer. TSM have 30 seconds left to put this all together, and that is no easy task. Especially given their spread right now. They are going to need to coalesce around this blue portion of the map and then push in towards Arsenal. Bio's there with the carbine in hand to try and do something. He'll lose his reticle in the ADS next to him as the EMP goes off. Some damage done to Geo, but Merc finds kill number 2. Merc has been so good on Hibana so far. Through the smoke, Geo will trudge, but he gets downed by the shotgun. Slash is looking for another to try to come to Geo's aid, and there he goes. He'll get it onto Achieved. Another one for Slash. The man's a maniac. 3 kills before he gets dusted off, but the timer runs out and Laxing gets the final pick on T'Challa. That's all she wrote. OXG takes yet again another church defense.
Nice hold there for Slash. The right time, right place, perfect operator. And here you can see that 3K in all its glory. Managing to single-handedly hold on to the Moto door. And unfortunately for TSM, that's where they chose to set up their attack. A mistake made. And the punishment rendered by Slashug. So now, cash defense for the last defense of Oxygen's first half. We'll see if this goes the way of TSM. They can even it out, but it's feeling a lot like Oxygen's going to be the one to take the first half, 4-2. Based on the play we've been having from both of these teams, TSM's just making more mistakes. That last round is a great example. I don't really care how you look at it. That push by Moto was a blunder and a half. Even if Slash is the perfect operator to hold that kind of position, still, the fact that none of those attackers had their gun up to take the fight at all, that really does tell a story.
10 seconds to go.
This has been a remarkable turnaround from OXG after what happened on Coastline. Could have been very easy for them to just kind of fall back. I know that everybody that's playing this game has a certain level of pride, and nobody's going to want to deliberately avoid winning a matchup. So it's not like they're coming in saying, okay, you know what, we lost Coastline.
Whatever.
God, you know, we got a game of Risk. We got a game of Catan to play. Let's send this one home early, boys, you know? That's very much not the case. So, obviously for OXG, it became a point of proving the haters wrong, whether it be something they saw in themselves, something they saw on social media, whether it just be them as competitors always want to win. We're not entirely sure, but regardless, OXG certainly woke up after that very first map. It played well to TSM's strengths. OXG clawed back on Villa, and now I've looked pretty fine here on Clubhouse as they go back upstairs to Cash, a bomb site that they had won previously on the third round after dropping it on the second. So mixed results here, but they won the last one in commanding fashion. It was a flawless round for them, and they stopped TSM dead in their tracks every single time. TSM doing the same thing they've done now 3 takes onto this bomb site, which is open up that CCTV wall really quick. And now it's about discovery and determining which part of this bomb site, or which part of the bomb sites, is easiest to pressure and provoke a reaction from OXG off of.
Well, so far on this round, we've seen no serious reaction yet. Slash has taken a little bit of damage, but it was equally dished, as you can see on Merc. So there's nothing drastic happening for either team. Setup for TSM is pretty straightforward. Once again, they're going for a workshop take. They've got the rotations they need, thanks to the sledge and the soft walls there. They're going to be able to open up the workshop wall in all likelihood, but they have to be sure that they've cleared out underneath by that drop. Stun's going into clear ADSs. And well, my discs, he gets one for free there. That's pretty nice. Merc also will get slashed, so the first frag goes the way of TSM. Importantly, that's the Maestro. But a run out all the way from Strip Club will down Merc. Bolo answers with getting control of Garage, but that is reacted on by Laxing, who gets control back in Garage for Oxygen. Biologic in the site, doing some serious work, and the wall has yet to be opened, so he's got a lot of maneuverability here. Even man count, but finally workshop wall gets opened. But it might be too late, as the first gas canister comes out. If Biologic is able to chain his utility, he will give this a really great run on a hold inside of Cash. But we're coming close to the end. The attack has to make a move. Chala, Geo, and Merc must go for some execution somewhere. And right now, they look like they're second-guessing themselves. Looks like Merc's going to vault on in. One on the platform, coming in through Breach. Merc gets the vault kill, and Chala will get Laxing, leaving just Foxe. But he doesn't have C4. All he has is information. He'll spray on default plant and force Merc to relocate, but the information's not there anymore. New Mark's coming out, but there's not enough reaction from Foxe. He will get it in the last second there. Merc goes down, and Oxygen win the first half.
Bio finds that one a little funny. You didn't have the coverage you wanted to try and take that fight, and I mean, with how much spraying was being done down below, I do think you kind of need to question why Chala didn't bother to try to drop down and go for that coverage. You know, there was what, 3 seconds off of the defuse plant before Merc swapped, and the diffuser was at about a second left. So that's 9 seconds that they knew that Foxe was downstairs, and yet Chala stayed up top. I get it, because if Chala goes down there and he loses the fight, the diffuser gets planted, Merc is on 1 HP. I understand that. But I still have to think that if Chala maybe had tried to pressure Fox, well, Fox probably wouldn't have given up on his goal of taking out that diffuser and would have been put into a gunfight straight up, at which Fox could have very easily won, and then, well, it would be incumbent upon Merc to be able to hold it off. That round in particular was a great set of games for Merc. He played so well on those 6 rounds. His entry was strong. He was doing it on Hibana. His gadgetry work was great. His game sense was strong. He has been the MVP of the first half, even though OXG won 4-2. I'm still saying that Merc was the best player in the lobby through those first 6 rounds. He's been deceptively good and all over the scoreboard, especially on those entry kills. We'll see what he can do on defense now, as that was the first half in the books, obviously. And TSM's very first defense is going to be downstairs inside of church.
This is a solid site, of course, but we've yet to see TSM play it. Right now, the focus is, of course, going to be on the top floor. You've got Mute and Mozzie both being brought here for delay factor. Plenty of delay going on, of course, with the drones being slowed or at times even stopped, cold in their tracks, unable to find out where the roamers are. That forces face checking out of the attack. And that's very dangerous. You have to be careful with who it is that actually does that face checking. You lose a Hibana, for example, and you could lose the round. Though, honestly, when it comes to operator utility, in 2020, Rainbow Six, no matter who you're losing, it's always costing. That's one of the things that wasn't always like that. But, you know, you lose a Zofia. That's rough. You lose a Thatcher. Ooh. Sledge, same thing. No matter who it is, it's going to hurt. Now, it can hurt more and less depending on the site and what you need, but generally, it's always painful. As is that kill right there for Oxygen. Down goes Foxy over by the main lobby. And man count advantage TSM.
So Merc will break double digits. He's the first person in the lobby to do that, and Foxy being punished for his negligence, so to speak. You can see not even a scratch on the paint job of Merc. And his great R6 share team skin, by the way. I really do like that Vitality skin on the MPX. Look at that thing.
Triangle.
So choice. So choice. Anyway, Merc is safe downstairs with a minute to go for OXG to find the plot of this round. There is a pre-placed C4 avenue created over top of those barricades on Church Wall, unless it's already gone off. It sure does look like something blew up, but that could have also just been sledging being done by Vertical. We don't know. It is a little bit... That is a weird looking hole, actually.
Huh. I mean, maybe it was a double impact?
Yeah, could have been. I mean, there's no impacts present from the defenders. I'm not sure.
Maybe no. I meant by maybe Foxy got it before he died. I don't really know. Didn't see it, but what I did see was biologic killing achieved. Even man count now as we hit the last 30 seconds.
And there's Chala to take one on Laxing. It's a hot drop for OXG. Slash entering through Dirt Tunnel. He takes out Bolo. Merc has expended his Nitro Cell, so he pulls out the MPX and it finds its target on a bio before Vertical trades him off. Geo punishing Slash from Dirt Tunnel, so it's Vertical in a 1v2. He's got the diffuser, and with 10 seconds left, he's going to need to go for a plant. Or go for the kills, but he has no intel whatsoever. Spies one inside of blue, but Chala drops through the hatch, very conveniently opened up by OXG. And TSM will take their very first defense to try and tighten this game up.
Well played there. TSM very close to failure, but on the entry into the site, the frags just happened to go the way of the defense. Didn't actually see most of it. But what I did see there tells me that TSM did not relent in holding their own bomb site. So that's great to see. Lots of forced rotations before they had to wait for, a post-plant scenario. That not letting that happen. Oxygen trying to throw bodies at the problem, as is their style. But well-positioned players from TSM and great timing on the retake won out in the end. So... TSM clearly showing that they've got what it takes on defense. Though that was a close round, still, I think you can handily say that was a TSM round through and through. Just because of the way that Oxygen approached the site itself, with their forcing through bottlenecks and losing tons of manpower in the process. Now that we go to Cash, of course, things are a little bit different here. And it's mostly going to come down to your standard hard breach, what's going to get opened up, what's not. We've seen through this map so far, neither team really putting a lot of emphasis on Garage. Now that Oxygen's on attack, I'm curious if that's going to change. They have brought a double hard breacher in Hibana and Thermite, so that suggests that they will at least take two different routes, whether that be the balcony and the workshop or the balcony and the garage, remains to be seen.
This is where Wamai is going to play. You usually see Maestro positioned up there, but Merc likes to play inside of Cash, and surprise, surprise, that's exactly where he is, hugging that A bomb site, like a relative you haven't seen in quite a while. Foxy first pick onto Achieved. He storms in and gets the pick. That's not good for Achieved, who, after a strong Villa map, is not exactly having the same presence that he wanted here on Clubhouse. It's gone decently quiet. They need more out of him, and as well, Geo on Geo's roles in order to keep pace with Oxygen. You can't just allow Merc and Bolo to put this team in their proverbial backpack. Merc comes very close to taking some damage now as he's watching on this angle inside of CCTV. And he had the opening out onto the balcony where it appeared that it was the sledge of Vertical. Or no, It must have been Laxing playing on that angle, or Slash to have fallen off. Could have been a good pick if it was Slash playing in that position, because he would have taken out the hard breach, even though you've already opened up that CCTV wall.
The kill established. In the end, that's all that matters. Geo holding on to Garage still. TSM's in a decent array. The one big problem is these holes getting opened up on by below. That doesn't make any sense. Getting opened up by Foxay from below. That makes more sense. And he'll have a good amount of control thanks to his presence and the impacts. Merc is being forced into a really difficult position. He's able to impact trick from that position, though. It will cost him his life, but at least he denies a rotation for now. Oxygen still with the manpower advantage. And, ooh, that's unfortunate that a magnet still exists. So the evil eye will persist for TSM, giving them information and thus a chance at success. Geo inside a garage has got a big role to play. If he's able to do some damage from this position, he could win it for his team. It's going to be close, though, as the pressure continues to mount. The pinch between Workshop and the platform is the play here for Oxygen, but they don't have as much breach on the Workshop wall as they had hoped. Nice shot from Vertical, though. That's his second in the round. A big kill, too, as he gets a little bit of control by top red. Chala gets a kill with his gas canister and does a lot of damage to Slash, but not enough to kill him. And they'll miss the shot onto Vertical. Nice vault from Geo, taking out Slash on the server window, but from the platform, Laxing will get his kill, a trade back. It's the L85s versus Chala's SMG-11, and the ammo dwindles to the point of there being none. Laxing presses, and Oxygen will take the round.
All told, well executed from OXG. It did start with that early pick onto Achieved. So imagine TSM now needing to play 4v5 for 2 minutes and 35 seconds. Yeah, that's not exactly the position you want to find yourself in on CCTV cache. Now, the good news for TSM at the time was that it was a Jaeger who ended up in that position. So his gadgets are already down. He's going to be a good gun to try and hold that bottom floor, especially hold lounge if he needs to, or even play off of construction, depending on where you want him to roam. It still was a piece, though, for TSM that was sorely missing. And after cache blows apart, TSM are not keen to go back there. They're going to go over to Gym. All right, well, this is the opposite of what we saw and what we talked about from OXG when OXG was on defense, where after they got blown out and skunked on cache, they went right back to it. That's not the case here. So for TSM, they're going to bring an all too familiar operator lineup. They've made some swaps on who's playing what. And with this setup, they're going to play, I would imagine, quite aggressively out of the bathroom, probably inside of logistics as well, and then inside of cache. And there you go. The reinforcements just beginning inside of cache. The Melusi Banshee placed in a spot where you are going to need to waste an explosive to get to it, given how explosives are a prized commodity right now. And they have Zofia, they have a sledge, they have 2 frag grenades, and I guess technically they have an EMP if they really want to use it on the Banshee. But other than that, OXG is going to need to use something to try and take that. And it's going to slow them down, which will allow TSM to swing on them, as we assume OXG will enter from CCTV. It tends to be the starting point, because if you want to pull off a successful take on to B or A, you want to isolate cache, you want to isolate construction, and you want to make sure that if there's a rotate in the logistics, you watch that as well. That will be the goal, or the goals rather, for OXG on this attack.
Well-placed Claymore there for Foxay in case there's a Workshop run out. Achieved takes down Foxay, though, as he attempts to rappel up to the roof. Great and brazen play there from Achieve. Doesn't get shut down for it, though, so a win's a win. So early man count advantage for TSM, and it's the type of man count advantage that is not likely to be responded to very quickly. It hasn't been. Cache control is still paramount here for Oxygen, so they're going to start their push over by cache. To avoid impact tricking, the Habana will place his Excaros low on the wall, which will allow them to detonate regardless of the impact. And there you go. Achieved, forced out of cache. He favors his life over continuing to delay.
Achieved flying very close to the sun, as we had seen Merc do on a previous round. Achieved over by the jacuzzi wall, though. Well, he's just going to wait for now. TSM a good spread above. Achieved has worked his way all the way over to Strip Club. This is quite the run he's gone on. And, well, he's going to be looking to maybe try to punish Slash, who's over on that jacuzzi. But is there a drone in position to catch him? That's the question. Additionally, is Slash even there at all? The answer is no, but Laxing is. And Laxing sights are trained directly on that spot. As Achieved gets droned out, the jig is up at this point. He's going to need to get back in with his head still intact. All the while, Bolo will need to do the same thing, albeit over by Cash. He's actually in a good spot. If there's no flank watch, Bolo is going to be able to just exert as much influence as he can. As Slash falls to Chala, the TSM starts this off. Chala punished by Vertical. And there's Bolo on the flank to take out Vert. There's another over by Construction. Biologic is the wrecking crew in this case. Achieved with one as well. Down goes Bio into the doorway of Merc, and this is a quick round that falls in favor of TSM. The back and forth continues as the lead is still held by OXG. But TSM finds their fourth round, and they are one away from tying this up.
All right. That flank from Bolo was massive. Mostly that comes down to Oxygen not having sufficient flank watch. They definitely should have had somebody on a drone preventing that, or at least calling it out. Also, the way that Oxygen was pushing that, while they did get cash control, they really didn't turn it into much else. The way that they were trying to pinch, instead of pinching onto logistics, after you pinch out cash, you'll do that between the drop and the breach, and then also workshop itself, which that's the normal take. Instead of doing that, Oxygen went for a straight workshop into site kind of play. Also, they were playing heavy presence, well, not heavy, decent presence on the south balcony. So they kind of skipped a step. Now, it's not fair to say they skipped a step. They just decided to do a different take, and it was a little bit lighter than I'm used to seeing on that site, so I guess that's why it's so surprising. And ultimately could have worked, but because of the lightness of the attack, I would have expected there to be more awareness on the flank, because that gives you more freedom to divert the utility or the manpower or what have you, and we just didn't have that. So everything went wrong for Oxygen there, basically. And, yeah, TSM. Well done. Bolo, great awareness to know that he could go for that.
Actually kind of surprised there was no flank watch there from OXG as well. I mean, there's operators that can bring it. You have Claymores. In fact, seeing OXG bring 2 Claymores is, well, 2 more than we frankly see a lot of teams run nowadays.
Yeah.
You are... you know, it's a hot commodity to have flashbangs or frag grenades or smokes or breaches as well, because you're going to need explosives in some capacity to deal with the tools that the defenders are bringing. You know, there's bulletproof gadgets in spades these days. There's a deployable shield being held by Chala. There's 2 Evil Eyes from Merc. So, additionally, wanting to cut through those 6 blasts of the ADS that were brought by the 3 ADSs in particular, each having 2 of the 2 charges apiece from Geo, means that those flashbangs are going to be largely used to clear that utility out, and then a grenade or 2 will get tossed in the hands of Vertical. So there's this juggling that does tend to happen, and, well, let's see how it plays out. So we're a minute off of round number 10. And I have no sense of where we're going to go in this matchup. This is actually pretty remarkable, as I don't really know what's going to happen next. There are a few matches where you are just genuinely puzzled by what you've seen, and so far this has been it. OXG gets the lead-off kill on Bolo. Mozzie is down as Laxing starts things off with the first blood in round 10.
That's one of your premier fraggers on TSM. Merc the only one outscoring Bolo right now, and that's not a great start for the defense. So, with that initial kill, TSM have to be very careful with how they play out the actual site defense. But key here is the fact that there's only a minute left for Oxygen to launch that assault onto a basement hold. And nothing's really been opened so far. I mean, maybe a few drops, possibly Moto. Yeah, Moto's getting opened right now. But that is rough time management there for Oxygen, and it mostly comes down to the roam. So the loss of Bolo might have been worth it. The result of the round will be the ultimate determining factor on whether it was or was not worth it. Vertical and Oxygen's hard breachers are making great use of the time they have left, but it is still very limited. Impact tricking going on, trying to deny the Hibana opening up the kitchen drop down. One impact left. C4 will miss. Achieve eats some damage. He rotates to box 3. Second impact goes out. It misses. Drop down now open, and Merc will play by K9, trying to hold on to Arsenal. Not an easy position to hold with, but he's got the Alda and full HP. He's probably going to be able to make it work. Stun's going in here to try and disrupt the hold. Down by box 3. Achieves his low, so that could be huge. Slash planting somewhere in the site. And there is coverage from the attack. Weird positioning from Vertical. And the plant is stopped as TSM retakes their site. They will get it all. And the round, TSM's favor.
5-5. And I didn't even see if TSM... after that very first pick, I didn't see after Bolo died if they lost a single person. In fact, I don't think they did. I believe it went from a 5v4 to a 4v1 as a single member of OXG managed to ride it out and still survive. A beautiful retake as Chala seemed to do a double take over by the bomb chassis. He sees somebody sitting there, peeks into church and thinks, oh, wait a second, is that? And then he swings out and gets the kill. So well played by him, and just a bit too much time wasted by Oxygen, which is kind of strange when you think about it. They got that opening pick from Bolo. Okay, you've cleared out most of that first floor. You should be able to pivot now. There's a botched impact grenade from Merc that allows the hatch and kitchen to get opened up. Let's be completely honest. That was a missed grenade from Merc on what should be decently standard to stop those X-Kairos. Didn't even get a single one. So now you've had two big things that work for OXG for them to be able to swiftly cut into the bomb site, especially when their positioning on Merc is known now, as they had seen the impact nade hit it and he was playing back by Arsenal. Yet still, it was TSM who were better spread out, especially inside of Church. The play from OXG to try and capitalize off of that on Church and Blue was non-existent, and the focus seemed to be solely on Arsenal, and it was way too linear. OXG had a lot of things working in their favor and yet still couldn't pull out that round, and TSM read the strategy and were prepared for it and handled it accordingly. Now, there's an impact, or rather it looked like there was going to be an impact tossed out there. It does not work. The X-Kairos go off on what is a defense upstairs in cache CCTV, and already some of that wall has been taken out. It's going to allow a clear line of sight up to the rafters, as so many Hibanas like to open up.
Yeah, that's a really good hole to have, because it means Geo cannot play on the north side of the rafter at all. Now, with the main breach being opened, TSM is going to start feeling that pressure. It looks like it's going to be a garage take as opposed to the workshop takes we've been seeing both of these teams whip out. So this is something different. Geo will truly be tested on this hold. His play is paramount. If Geo is able to persist on rafters, he will win the round for his team. He's being pressured by Vertical and Slash right now. Not an easy thing to deal with. Merc is going to be the one that is down first. Stuns continuing to go out. Nade will miss, but just barely. More stuns onto Geo. He goes prone, and the second nade will land. Oxygen are relentless on their rafters control, and they will get it. Merc was picked up in the site, so at least a little bit salvaged for TSM, but lots of damage done by Oxygen's attack. They seem slated to take this round off of the control they established in Garage. The damage done already, and the fact that they're going to be able to now get a close contact rotate into the site, potentially turning this into a plant scenario.
Look at how quickly they are moving through Garage to try and open this up, and TSM will now need to fight on their heels, just as we had seen before, and wall into CCTV totally open. They'll try to charge in. Merc can't take too much damage from his position. There goes the toxic canister to try to stop Slash, and it seems to have worked as some damage is done, and the Thermite will have to find another place to try and drop that diffuser down. He's now on drone with Fox A ready to spring on into action, and once discovery work is done, the three members of OXG will charge forward. Slash going for a plant in the opening, cross from both Fox A as well as Vert, and there's nothing they can do to stop him except for Bolo, who manages to gun him down before Bio can avenge his teammate. Still, the diffuser picked back up, and it's Vertical's turn to go for the defuse. Bio taking too much damage as Achieved is down below, showing the power of the Jaeger. Vertical getting the plant down successfully as Fox punishes Merc. There wasn't much left. Fox moves ever so slightly and allows Chala to retake through cache. He has no utility left. He's just a gun, a warm body if you want to call it that. Achieved trying to battle on the rafters. He'll lose the fight. Chala in a 1v3. He's not going to get anything. A big round from Vertical and Oxygen on match point and series point. Up 6-5.
Big round there for Vertical, like you said, Parker, and a great strategy from Oxygen. I love how Oxygen subverted TSM's expectations. The setup was set up pretty standard for TSM. However, of course, this has been we've been seeing the workshop take every single round for both teams. The attack is always opening up the plat, going over to workshop, and that's their secondary execution mark. Then they crossfire between the two, and sometimes it works for the attack, sometimes it works for the defense, yada yada. But Oxygen going for a full garage take. They open up the platform, and then they go in through garage, using their hard destruction very wisely, but most importantly, those stuns and grenades. There was clearly not enough of an ADS presence on rafters. There was not enough of those discs on rafters, and Merc was overwhelmed in that position. So, with that being done now, TSM back against the wall. This round could give Oxygen a win on the series as a whole. With their back being against the wall, they're interestingly going to opt for Jim over Cash, which they could have re-upped. They could have defended again. This is going to be a very different decision than most teams would typically make, and it might catch Oxygen or off guard, just as Oxygen's garage take caught TSM off guard.
Is it that strange, though, given that Cash has broken in favor of OXG both times? In fact, Cash is the only bomb site that OXG has won on attack.
That's not that strange.
So, I mean, if you look at TSM, they won Church twice, they won Gym once. They're going to try to keep that going, in which case then we'll need overtime between these two teams. Like I said, the real winner here is the audience. This was originally a match that wasn't billed as being really that important. That's significant, I guess you could call it.
I mean, it still isn't.
But in this case, it has turned out to be a great showing for what is going to be a matchup between them. So when we get to the major, we get to do this all over again, baby. And hopefully it's as close as it was between these teams, because this has been a deceptively good match. It didn't start that way.
Yeah, no, Coastline was not great, but it's gotten much better, like you said. Now, the hold inside of Cash is the focus for TSM and Oxygen alike. The drone will not spot out Achieved, but it will as it ascends further. Don't know why I said that, but it did get further into the room. It didn't ascend anywhere. Anyway, TSM still have this control. Achieved is doing a great job here. He's got the impacts for the tricking. Exo goes on the wall. Impact works. Vertical gets Bolo, though, so a response is merited, and Achieved lands his shot. Second exothermic faked out. He picks it up. He knows that there's another impact in Achieved's pocket, so he's trying to get this open. It'll be a distraction, though, as the stun is successful and Habana is opening up the other wall. Xgaro stopped all the same, though. Achieved decides he wants to stay, and he continues to hold on to Cash. Elsewhere, Geo will go down to Foxay, and what a response. Achieved gets his second kill, and he keeps this man count still nice and even. There's the third. Achieved is going wild inside of Cash. He will not let go. And finally, his grip is forced off by Biologic.
And now Oxygen have 50 seconds to be able to try to secure this matchup. They've got Merc and Chala sitting inside of the bomb sites. Merc is over in Gym, Chala inside a bathroom. OXG's advance with Foxay and Bio being the two remaining members in this 2v2. Will be spread out quite even, but likely over towards construction and towards master. Jim, I imagine, will be completely ignored by OXG, as they just simply don't have the time to deal with the challenges that that bomb site presents. Which means that Merc is going to hit the deck and play against the entire bottom of this wall, which has been shot out. It'll give him a good vantage point to tear up the shins and ankles and feet of whoever comes his way. He's waiting for the call / the push, as there goes a Goyo shield. Perfect time for him to drop and play this angle. Nobody doesn't see Foxay. Chala guns down Bio, so Fox will have to pressure in towards the bathroom. Chala gives his position away. 5 seconds left. Foxay around the corner, but Chala wins the fight. Overtime is on the board. This game's not over yet.
What a clutch from Chala. Foxay second guesses his peak, doesn't full check the corner. He didn't know. It's not his fault. The information just wasn't there. Bathroom was the only call. Now, Most of that comes down to Achieve's play inside of Cash. His ability to pick up a 3K there and refrag 2 of his teammates and then assertively get a kill of his own really did sway the round to TSM's favor. And it's thanks to Chala, of course, in the end, but a lot of credit needs to be paid to Achieved himself. So 6-6, defense first for TSM. They will descend into Church Arsenal. This is a solid site, of course. It's been actually fairly decent for both teams, if my tracking is correct. So, probably the right decision here for TSM to take their first OT round downstairs.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Well, you know, it's funny how long this one has gone as it was billed by the players before the match even got started on Twitter. Then again by the analysts and even by us in the first map where we weren't taking it seriously in comparison to the players not taking it seriously. It definitely seemed like a lighthearted affair through those first couple rounds. And then both of these teams decided, no, we want to win. No, I want to win. No, we want to win. No, I want to win. And now we are at this point where this is one of the more serious matches we've casted in quite a while, and it has proved to be quite exciting. It's a long one, that's for sure. And we've got one TSM defense followed by an OXG defense. Right now, it's an attacker, or rather, sorry, it is a defender-sided Clubhouse, which will obviously benefit TSM. More challenging for the attackers to be able to pull this one off. The upstairs will be reinforced off, including the mute jammer that's on the wall being blown open as TSM is looking to try to stall some time. And, well, they've got Achieved and Geo above on that second floor, which means that OXG will have to confront them before they can head towards the first floor and then ultimately the bomb site, which is in the basement.
The delay work has been pretty good so far. It's very quiet, though, in this OT round. Both teams certainly worried about the potential outcome. This is an awkward roam clear for Foxeye. He's actually surrounded right now. Players above him, players to his left, players below him, and it's the one below, Geo, to get the kill as Foxeye attempts to assert dominance over one of those 3 fights. This roam for TSM is working great because Oxygen was not very thorough on their roam clear, and the information from things like that Valkyrie cam has been abundant. This opened up hole into the strip wall means that Bolo can take a fight whenever he pleases, and Biologic needs to be wary. There's likely a pest on the door. Tell me there's a pest on the door. I mean, it's a Mozzie. No, there's not. Bolo is spotted. Wow. That's surprising. Achieve will get vertical as well. So now man advantage further for TSM.
Vertical going down, the only player on OXG to have broken double digits. It means that Achieved, Merc, and Bolo are now above those themselves. And well, I said that the team couldn't rely on just being carried. Achieve came alive, and that's been huge. Even Geo's warmed up, and now Geo will find one before getting removed from Laxing, who enters through the back of Arsenal. He's deep in the bomb site. He's going to take some damage by B-bomb. Chala down, so this is winnable, but with Biologic going, it's unlikely Laxing will be able to do anything. Somewhat anticlimactic. There it is, TSM on match point as they bury Laxing inside of Church.
Well, Parker, I think we can both safely say that that is one of the least enthusiastic rounds we've seen from Oxygen so far.
He wasn't even in Church, by the way. He was almost in Church. He was in the doorway.
He tried.
He tried to get in there.
Most of that, straight up, comes down to 2 things. 1, TSM's roam, and 2, Oxygen's lack of a roam clear. We saw a really haphazard push into the building, almost like Oxygen expected it to be clear. I'm not really sure why. And TSM took full advantage. Great roaming, well-placed Valkyrie cams, and just an overall great presence on the top 2 floors. And yeah, well, we did see one attacker from Oxygen get into the site. I mean, that's not really going to win you a round.
So back down to Church they go. This has been the favored son of all of the bomb sites so far. I mean, if you look at the stats here on Church, OXG played this twice, won both times. TSM played this bomb site 3 times, won every time. No attacking team has been successful on Church in this matchup. So stands to reason that OXG would want to go downstairs just as TSM had. And I mean, the thing is with this bomb site and the way that the reworked Clubhouse plays out is that thanks to a couple crafty teams, you can roam aggressively on that second floor. You can roam on the first floor. You don't need to sit everybody down below inside of the bomb site. There's lots of options and lots of opportunities for you to play however you see fit. And that flexibility that comes with the operator lineup and whatever ingenuity teams want to bring, it means that the attackers are going to have a pretty challenging go of it. And I mean, it's going to get even more challenging now as Merc gets taken out as he's trying to open up Dirt Tunnel. Slash is the one credited with that kill. And that is hugely impactful. That leaves just Geo as the only hard breacher for TSM. And TSM will now fight down a man for the remainder of this round.
That's really unfortunate there for TSM, and it would suggest a final round of OT, but don't count TSM out just yet. Even though that was their top frag and one of their 2 hard breachers, it's certainly very winnable. Especially, oh, whoa, what a run out from Vertical. He'll pick up a big kill before he's shut down by Bolo. That's one of the roamers top floor cleared out, but the other hard breacher eliminated. TSM now will have to force their way through bottlenecks. Oxygen knows this much, and well, they're going to start getting real passive in the site.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
Well, I think OXG are playing this one perfectly. I mean, we would be saying the opposite if it didn't work out for them and say, well, why are they taking these chances? But I mean, OXG obviously reading into somebody playing over by Dirt Tunnel, and now that it's been opened up, it required one of those X-Kairos. The first 2 fatalities for TSM, the first 2 casualties happen to be their hard breachers. That's not good by any definition of the term. Now Bolo takes some damage and more from Foxay on the follow-up, but Bolo gets the last laugh, and just like that, the advantage that OXG has is completely evaporated. Just as the smoke will evaporate, Slash needs another gas canister to get tossed out. The wrecking crew upstairs will continue to destroy that soft flooring, putting Slash in a position where a beautiful shot like that will give his team even greater odds. Bolo punished inside a kitchen, and now Achieved is next up, taking tons of damage in the process. He's got a grenade that he can toss on down and will do just that, but it gets eaten by an ADS. If somebody swings on him, he will be exceptionally vulnerable. And he needs to be very wary of that. It's just him and Chala left to do all of this damage with 30 seconds remaining. And for OXG, you've got to think their chances of prevailing quite high. As Achieve trades a lot of HP, trying to get biologic. Grenade goes down, it'll be dropped below onto the B-bomb site, as action just will not relent.
Chala and Achieved not going to have any real chance here. And Oxygen just waiting out these last seconds. But down goes Slash. That's big. Achieved still has ammunition in his primary. He's going to take the fight onto box 3 and win it. That's huge. Laxing will get 1 on the drop. 5 seconds. He just needs to stay alive. He'll whip out the shotgun. No, reloads the SMG and wins that one too. Laxing with a huge round. And Oxygen bring us to the last round of OT.
Raise your hand if you thought that we were going to need 15 rounds on this map, 14 rounds on the map before, and 11 rounds on the first map for bragging rights, Michael.
My hand is not raised.
You know, it was rhetorical. But goodness gracious, this has been really, really exciting.
It has
really
been
exciting.
Yeah. High five.
Unbelievable. Well, that's it. Everything is on the line here. Every single thing. It is a coin toss. It is a best of 1 round, a best of 3, with the possibility of 45 rounds, boils down to the single round, 1 round, where TSM will go on to defense, and they'll go to Jim, and guess what? They are perfect on this bomb site. Perfect on this bomb site because they've either attacked it or defended it a total of 3 times. They defended it twice, they attacked it once, and they won every single time. Obviously, OXG are going to try to flip the script. If you look at the tools that they're bringing, they've got all the things that will be required to take it. Number 1, Slash is going to need to be a lot smarter with his exothermic charges than he was before. His target was the wall that both Achieved and Bolo are reinforcing right now, which is the top of red stairs. It is very easy to impact trick that wall and take out the exothermic charge, which happened twice from Achieved in that position, and it cost Slash the utility. Achieved was also able to gun down 3 separate members of OXG from that spot, so it was very pivotal to the flow of Jim on the last defense that TSM had in round number 12. If they can pick off Achieved early from OXG's side and or get that wall open without surrendering too much, then that will be a significant step forward. If you recall, it came down to a 1v1 where it was a clutch from TSM to win the round, so it certainly wasn't an easy affair for TSM to hang on, despite Achieved's plays inside of Cash. There's variables and moving parts that we'll need to keep an eye on, but let's get into the action now as we are 40 seconds into this very final round between these teams.
Very differently, Achieved will be playing inside of server. This is a big risk. He leaves himself exposed to many different angles, and if he's droned out, he could be easily shot through a wall. It's Bolo, though, who dies downstairs, hunted in stock. That is huge. Oxygen now with the advantage. This could be answered back, and it is, but swiftly by Vertical, much the same. Oxygen maintain their man advantage and get control of Cash. This roam has played out as poorly as it possibly could have for TSM. The only thing that could have been better for Oxygen is not losing Biologic, but that is a small price to pay for all of this time and control that has just been gifted to the attack.
And now the setup from TSM will turn their eyes towards construction, knowing that that's where the take is going to come from because they have pushed out Cash. The biggest obstacle that OXG had before being achieved is now removed. So no more do you need to worry or fret about your utility or your players dying inside of Cash. Vertical will post up there watching construction with the hatch open down below as OXG assembles over towards that construction avenue. Chala will be the first one in the line of fire, playing behind a deployable shield inside a bedroom, and he'll engage on the Foxay. No reticle needed as he downs the Zofia, but she can withstand if required. If nobody from Oxygen wants to go help Foxay get up, he'll be able to do it himself. That's big. And additionally, Chala might not know that he's down Foxay. Slash picks off Merc, so it's a 4v2, and OXG seem to be in full control of the bomb site and full control of this round. But Chala is going to be a significant difference maker. He narrowly misses out on the thermite posted up by Jacuzzi. As Slash attempts the plant, Chala will need to shut it down, and there he is! Turns with the Alda, 2 big kills, Geo in a 1v2, and he'll spray away with the Vector. This is going to be the hardest that TSM will have fought to try and stop this one, and Geo's going to get pushed from behind as the marks are there for the diffuser to get planted from Foxay. Geo sprints on in. There are the marks. He'll shut it down. 10 seconds left. Geo versus Laxing in a 1v1. Laxing picks up that diffuser, but he'll be slowed by the Banshee. He's having trouble deciding where to go, and it's no choice but to go for the plant. He's not going to be able to get a kill, so you might as well be immobilized. All Geo needs to do is stop this with a nitro cell, and he'll do it. TSM takes the match, stealing it away from OXG. It takes 15 rounds, but they end up winning it in the end. TSM takes the series 2-1.
Great patience there from Geometrics. He had a rough map overall statistically, but impact frags and impact rounds, winning it by himself in the end. TSM, a hard-fought victory there. In that last round, also worth noting Chala's contribution. The man on Maestro cannot be shaken. 3 players on Oxygen, dropping double digits. Vertical, Foxay, and Laxing. 4 on TSM. Everyone but Geo. What an impressive performance from both teams.
And what a match that was. That's a sleeper pick for one of the best matches that we've seen this whole season, period. That was one of the best back and forths that we've had between 2 teams that are very evenly matched, and that should put to bed all of the rumors of OXG's demise as they were able to keep pace with TSM. Now, like we've said many times, these 2 teams are going to face off, and we are going to get this yet again in the mini major, and I hope it lives up to the billing. But Michael, that's it for us. We got some eager analysts that are going to want to dive into this incredible matchup of a game, so let's not keep you from them, and we'll toss over to the analyst desk.